You sounded quite hopeful about the bent you think the South African Anglican Church is going to take. And I just wanted to kind of touch on what was in this letter from February, which affirms the kind of open arms of the Anglican Church in terms of its congregants, but then says, I mean, I thought it was quite funny, well, funny but not actually, that Bishop Makgoba said, the only thing we agreed upon was that we didn't agree. Which was telling, but he said he remained hopeful. But that the Synod of Bishops had agreed at the end of their discussions to remain with a kind of take that we cannot advise the legitimizing or blessing of same-sex unions, nor ordaining those involved in same-gender unions. And then immediately he kind of undercuts it and says, having said that, we have questions around scripture and, you know, around communion and around the diocese. And he sort of ends off in a way similar to what you're saying now, that there's all this disagreement, but we mustn't allow that to sort of distract us from our humanity as bishops, even if we disagree. So do you think the conversation's going to go in a more kind of permissive, I don't know if that's the right word, direction, or is it going to be a matter of kind of sustaining the status quo, which is if you're gay, if you're bi, if you're trans, you're more than welcome to come and, to put it crudely, add to our kind of, you know, coffers and sit in our benches, but you cannot...
You're not one of us.
Yeah,
really.
You cannot represent us. You cannot be part of the leadership. Which, to my mind, to be completely candid, I think, and you know, you also, as you said, within these different structures, there are different provinces that have their own take. So you can't tar everyone with the same brush. But, you know, it just smacks of hypocrisy. And it's that, you know, the church is sometimes very quick to guard its people against allegations of child abuse, for example, which is absolutely abhorrent, but loving, kind of faithful people who are gay can't preach. And
so I don't know how we're going to get there, but I don't have to. I am confident that we will get there eventually, because as you say, the hypocrisy of our position can't hold, and or put it more gently, the internal contradictions of our position can't hold.
But couldn't that mean a swing back to being more conservative and kind of going the way that churches in Nigeria feel, or Madagascar, or many churches?
I don't think so. I think that we've come too far along the road to turn back and go hide in the closet as though nothing happened. There are too many clergy who have outed themselves, have outed themselves and been willing to say, okay, well, I'm out, but I'm celibate, and you know, what are we going to say? Okay, that was fine last week, but now we've had a synod and we changed our minds, and so now you have to either go back into the closet or get down from the pulpit. Yeah, you know, it's that's there's a point at which we can't turn around. There isn't a, you know, that closet door has slammed, and so we can't go back into that closet, and that the gift that we have as the Anglican Church in South Africa is that that the law of the land is that homosexual unions are legally permissible and have all of the protections of the law. which then means that the conversation that we have inside the church is about how we are church together. It's not about, you know, will you get the tax write-off if the church doesn't? Well, it really, in that respect, it doesn't matter what the church does. But then it becomes very clear that it really matters what the church does. You know, it doesn't matter in terms of rands and cents what the church does, but it matters in terms of life and love and joy and fellowship and wholeness what the church does.
So it sort of hones in then on the principle, the kind of the ethic of the decision.
The Christianity, but you know, what does it really mean to be a Christian in the midst of this kind of challenge? What happens when I disagree with your way of life and your way of being? What happens when I am questioning, well, is this the you that God made, or are you making deviant choices because the devil has possessed you? And so what are we going to say about this? And when I look at your manner of life, what do I say about your manner of life when I set it against what the Gospels say our manner of life is to be? And then it's, then it becomes kind of crystal clear.
Just saying.
Just saying.